Yay! Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Leelaversity, where you get to learn in real time with me. Woohoo! Yay! Today it's going to be about melody and scales, which is kind of a continuation on my chord progressions from last week, I believe it was, and it's in keeping with our Songtember theme. How exciting! Woohoo! I'm going to quickly say hello to the people who are in the front row, because you, front row people, you make things the way they are. And I love you. I love you. Whoa, a lot of streaming up. Semtex Cow is in the house. Woohoo! I always love it when the cow is around. Jade Star Music did an awesome bit on the Apple event earlier. And thank you for dumping everyone here. Dell, so nice to see you today. You're bored with Apple and not the dramatic recreating of events? Word. Yeah. Live to Fly channels here for a live to fly by, I'm sure, as his always quite busy Mr. DL. Thomas Christ, Legend of Links, Magical Mod. Awesome guy. We are so happy to have you here as always. Thomas, let's see. Oh, Forrest of the Wolf Official. Hello. Hello. You've been getting up early and showing up to the shows. We love having you here. Jim Shannon, Jimmy Jazz on sounds. Doug Kidder, Muncho. We have a kind of a new band going on here. It's going to be awesome. Brad Example, the Braddest example we have in the community. Let's see. I think that's everyone in the front row. Nope. Country Walkin'. Hello, Country Walkin'. Country Walkin's been putting up some pretty cool shorts and posts about art and things. Just some quick business. This is my QR code. You can scan that and you can find everything that's in this link tree. You'll be able to connect with all this super chatting, super schmooshing, super joining, all the lovely stuff. Yes, it's the mosh pit. Let's mosh, baby, mosh. Ms. Ali Gratiz in the house, just sending some loves, my little fish cake. Good to see you. And let's see, maybe we are done. Yes, we are. The comments are on stage. Say hello to each other. Enjoy each other's company, because that is one of the things that is really awesome about our community, is the vibes. All right. Let's move into what we're going to do. I'm going to get into my corner and we're going to look at my iPad. Oh, boom. Here I am in the corner. I've got a little piano kind of, or, a sound. It's called, I don't know what it's called because I can't see it. It's called Renaissance. All right, let's discuss chords and scales, baby. Right. Unlocking melodies, how scales shape music. Have you ever whistled a tune that you barely know? Wonder why it won't leave your brain? 9 times out of 10, the culprit is a tiny staircase of pitches we call a scale. When you hang out here in the chat, we're going to hear how that staircase turns into the melodies that make you cry, dance, or believe that you can fly. Think about this. Beethoven wrote the entire Ode to Joy with just 7 notes in one order. No sneaky chromatics, no chord trick bag, just a plain major scale. If 7 notes can take over the world, imagine what you can do once you know the blueprint. So basically, a scale is like an alphabet. So you know how our alphabet of 26 letters makes up all the words that we use, but the alphabet of scales is different, and it varies from scale to scale. We only have 12 core sounds in Western music. Other countries have more. So I don't know. I kind of feel jelly. So, but the scale out of the 12, or what do you call that? Chromatic. The chromatic scale is all 12 sounds, but a regular scale like a minor or a major scale is the 6 or 7 that you pick for your recipe. So we're kind of mixing metaphors here. We're making words. We're making they're also your ingredients. So if you get the right bunch of ingredients, everything will taste sunny. Swap in a few, and the flavor goes dark, bluesy, or mysterious. Composers aren't wizards; they're cooks, and they know which ingredients play nice. And this is really meaningful to me because my roommate is a chef. So we actually kind of talk about this sort of stuff all the time. Pie's gone union. Yeah. Look. Oh, ha! I look less naked. Hey, here's the pie. She's on. Thank you for letting me know. You know that's very important. Yeah, we want to see. You want to see the pie? What? Come on. Look it. We're gonna pull her closer. There she is. The pie. The pie. My muse is here. We're gonna be much smarter now. Here she goes. Jamie Lynn. Hello. Welcome to the party. All right. The union break. Official treat break. Indeed. Indeed. Right on. So, so here we go. I'm just going to show you something real quick on my thing. So here's your chromatic scale. This is C. We're going to work in C. There you go. It starts with the same note on an octave, but if it's the major scales, it's like this. And the way you do this, it's whole. The major scale is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So watch this. I'm going to use my mouse just in case you have a hard time seeing where I'm pressing. See? And then there's one whole step. So each key is a step, whole step. Now in between a D or in between E and F is a half step, but it's a whole note. So there's her half. Now whole, 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 half. There we go. Now that pattern puts daylight, like sunshine, into a song. Look at her. She's just literally just coming for food and leaving. What a little brat. Man, the times have changed. Pie. She used to be affectionate and loving, and now she's just money treat grubbing. So your natural minor lowers the 3rd, 6th, and 7th by half step. So let's go here. See, that sounds totally different. That's but it's not, it tips, it doesn't take away your light, it tips it towards dusk. It's not a pure sadness, it's like a depth. It totally works. So if you flip between the mid phrase, so like I would want to hum happy birthday, but I can't because I'll get a copyright strike. But if you drop the 3rd down like a half step on your name, like, dear, I did put the notes in, so let's see. I'm just going to do just the parts, right? Just the right part. It's dear, dear, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds way sadder. It's so sad. So that's just basically the quickie little vibey vibe, right? So film composers absolutely love to do this. It's called, they bait and switch it. They do a heroic major when the hero enters, and then they slam to a minor when the villain steps in. Meow, Hugh Caldwell. Oh, Happy Birthday is in the public domain? Ha ha! Woohoo! Well, next time. So Billie Eilish actually uses the same minor ladder that Schubert did. The same staircase, new haircut. It's a little less happy versus sad and more like safe sunlight versus moody twilight. Right on. So basically that's what your mood is, not is, but major and minor are actually part of set of modes. But if you want to skip out of all that entirely, what you do is the pentatonic scale. Those are all the... Pentatonic means it's 5 notes. Penta is 5. And those 5 notes actually are off of the... So you take the stuff off of the major and minor that are different, so they never clash. That means you can always use pentatonic. So if you are concerned about, like, if you have a song that varies between major and minor, it modulates, you may want to have a pentatonic scale. So let's find... So, like, if you just play black keys, that's like a pentatonic scale, right? See? Boom. Lots of songs in public domains. Yeah, I'm thinking about starting an app that helps, like, I think it's called Strike Out or something, and I want to, like, find ways to minimize copyright strikes by talking about public domain songs, and then songs that, like, have a user function where you put in your own notes, user notes, that say whether or not you get your stuff out. So, right, we got pentatonic. So that's instant melodies. Pentatonic is the instant melody. Yeah, for Asian music, definitely. So let's just find, let's go. I'm going to go C, pentatonic notes. C, D, E, G, and A, okay? I'm going to actually start a little chord progression here. Let's just start a really simple chord progression. La, la, la. Give myself a little sound box. Whoops. Find something here just quickly. We're just going to quickly grab like a pad or something. Or a piano. Piano and keys. Here we go. Well. That's nutty. All right. So we're going to I'm going to use a scalar 2 here. And we're just going to have the most simple chord progression, right? We'll just go, right, scales. We'll go C major, and we'll be like C major. Let's see, 1, let's go 1, 4, 5, 1. So simple, right? And we'll move that to here. That's too annoying. I like making them longer. Here we go. 2. So now we're going to just play some C, D, E, G, A. Doesn't that sound all completely right to me? But, so you're keeping out the F, which is the 4th, and B, the 7th. So I didn't think it sounded perfect, but it's the root, the major 2nd, the major 3rd, the perfect 5th, and the major 6th. So you're leaving out the notes that create tension, which is your 4th and your 7th. So it's pleasant and open. But sometimes it really... So as you could see, it does help. Now, I could just take this now. Whoops. I could take it and make a performance. If you make the performance of it, then you could... It'll be playing in the key. We'll just go common phrases, basic 1. Now, see how they're all in key? So it isn't always hard. So you think, oh my gosh, it's just so hard to find what key we're in or which notes are in the melody. There's one really awesome app called Note to Be that will give you just your pitches. See this? So all you do is set the scale. C, we're in C, but major, which is all white keys. But what if we wanted to have like a totally different thing? What if we wanted F major? So now, as you can see, the keys that are in the chord. Whoops, whoa. We have to connect this to, let's unconnect our, here, note to B, there we go. Now you'll see when I'm pressing, doesn't matter what I press, everything is gonna be Kubrick, what's up? Right, so you can see that. Keeping in scale. Let's see. Next, we're gonna go to modes. So all you have to do is basically it's like a wheel, and you're spinning your wheel. It has all of your 7 notes in it, and if you like spin the wheel to decide which key you start on, that's called a mode. Say you start, if you're in C, you start on D and you stay on the white keys, which are, let's set this up here. I'll mute that. Right. So let's start it. When we go. That's a C major scale. Now here's a Dorian scale. See how it sounds different? It's just a little vibier. It's just kind of, so Dorian is kind of jazzy and hopeful. It's kind of perfect for, say, your grizzled old detective who still believes in people, So if you start on the E, it's Phrygian, right? Now we'll go back to. See, that sounds totally different, right? So that's a Spanish sounding mode. It says it wants to pick a fight in a candlelit alley. Same notes, but a different space. You start in a different place and it comes out different. Tremor Bear is here. So cool. So I love this. This is a phrase I found which is really interesting. So they're not just theoretical, they're emotional filters. Each one will shade your melody differently. They're like your Instagram filters for music. You get your same picture, you get a different mood. Totally cool. So a scale. Oy. Scales. Let's see. What do you make sure of modes? I'm gonna actually let's shift our modes. I'm gonna use another app. Let's use something that has a melody maker in it. Probably a ChemOK app. Melody Bud. There we go. Now we'll connect Melody Bud to our little puppy. We're going to stay in C. We're going to solo this out. We're going to open this up. Let's first we're going to go, here's our settings. So where's our scale? There's C major, right? So we can just go now. Now I'm going to keep these same notes and we're just going to change the scale. Okay, from major to Dorian, which is the second set. See, that's very different. Now they're in the same positions. I didn't change my pattern. Now we'll move to Phrygian. I'm just double checking where I am here. Modes in order. Okay, so Phrygian. Now we're going to move to Lydian. Now we're going to go to Mixolydian. Remember, we're only just starting the exact same scale with the exact same notes. Where is that mixo? Mixy, mixy, mixo. Did I lose it? There it is, Mixolydian. There's Mixolydian. It's the same. Once again, I haven't even changed the Then Aeolian, which is major. Or Aeolian is minor, sorry. Don't listen to me. I mean, listen to me. All right, next Locrian. See, that's nice, huh? So that's all of our main modes. We'll stop that. So you can see how now we can just take, like, say we've got it in Locrian, or what were we in? Yeah, we're in Locrian. But now you can just do. This Melody Bud is amazing. Etsy. So this is actually a great tool. You could say like, well, oh, I didn't like that B flat. Now let's try it this way. So they always sound perfectly in. So that is an awesome little tool if you want to learn how to play around with making your own melodies. Melody Bud by Chemo K. Chemo K really, honestly, I find that his stuff is super awesome for learning how music works. You can kind of just watch it as it moves. So we had 0 random 100% probability. You can take this and you could chunk down the probability and you could chunk up the randomness, and you'll actually just sort of it won't be the exact same song each time. So here's this is the mnemonic, if you know what that is. That's like an acronym, only it doesn't spell out a word. So in mnemonics, like a sentence, I don't particularly like my aunt's lasagna is the one this says. And that's Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. So, but there's 2 L's in there, Lydian and Locrian. So if you can't remember, you might want to say something like, I don't particularly like my aunt's locks. You know, and I'm just going to give you just a little bit more. So the Ionian, that's major scale. It sounds happy. It's the basis for most major chords. Dorian is a second mode with a minor sounding quality, but it has a major sixth. Phrygian is a third mode characterized by a lower second scale degree, giving it a minor and, they say, Spanish feel. Lydian is the fourth mode with a bright, dreamy sound due to its raised fourth scale degree. Mixolydian, the fifth mode, and a dominant seventh chord scale. It sounds like a major scale with a flattened seventh. Aeolian is natural minor. Locrian is a diminished triad and an unstable diminished sound because it's lowered second and fifth. There's a couple of other minor scales. Let's talk about the other minor scales. There's, I believe, 3 kinds of minor scales: natural minor, harmonic minor, and melodic minor. The things that are different about your harmonic. So the natural minor scale goes whole, half, whole, half, whole. The harmonic minor will raise up the 7th note of that natural minor, which kind of creates a pull on your tonic, and it's also gives you another major chord to play, which is sometimes when you have the 7th raised to a major instead of a minor or a diminished. Hey, the Dom Father is in the house. Oh, I love what Thomas says here. Wonder if those monks back in the Middle Ages thought we'd still be talking about the scales they came up with for Gregorian chants that we'd still talk about in 2025. No kidding, right? So if you're harmonic minor, that basically gives you more major chords, and so that sort of gives you a vibe there. A melodic minor scale raises both the 6th and the 7th notes on the way up the scale, but it reverts to the natural minor when descending. I'm not sure why exactly. So why are there 3 minor scales? I just like, why? I don't get it, but we're gonna get it, right? To low E, A and D, G, B, and high E. Yeah, like tuning your guitar. Well, actually, it's probably like tuning it down. It's probably like doing dadgad or something. D-A, D, G, B, E, G, A, D. Kind of, it's changing some of the regular notes. Right, this is why. So the natural minor provides the basic minor sound, but it lacks the strong tendency to resolve to the tonic. Harmonic minor has a raised 7th note, which is called the leading tone. So if the last tone before you come back to the octave is called leading, And it creates a strong pull to the tonic, which is essential for creating strong harmonic progressions in classical, right? Yeah, a lot of this stuff, it's just like if you don't have to learn it, but knowing how it's different will help you like choose which app you want to use. It will kind of help you come up with melodies over your songs, all kinds of cool things. So, but melodic minors actually, they solve the awkward interval created by the harmonic minors raised 6th and 7th notes. It smooths out the melody for instrumentals, especially in ascending packages. Yeah, then there's inversions, right? So your key concepts here are your tonic, which I talked to you about this a little bit last week with chord progressions. Your tonic is your first and last note of a scale, which is your central pitch. Yes, and what Tremor Bear is absolutely true. This major scale structure, the 6th, is always the relative minor of the root. And that really helps when you're using an app like Launchpad, which we're going to do in just a second. So a relative major, that's a major scale that shares the same key signature as a minor scale. So Tremor, you actually just literally just put where my notes were leading me. So your parallel minor, that's the minor scale that starts on the same tonic note as a major scale. So at A minor and A, so your parallel minor is A major, A minor. Your scale degrees are the steps. Your key signature is the set of sharps or flats at the beginning of a piece of music, which identifies the keys and the notes used in the scale. It's that's a little more complicated than I actually want to get into right now, but we are going to play around with that major minor thing just right now. We're going to throw in a Launchpad, which is all minor keys. So we're going to find a scalar. We've got this, we'll get it out of here. We're going to put it on this better sounding. Let's don't use our melody bud. Let's use our scalar control on here and use our melody bud on here. We're going to make sure, let's just choose something different. Let's choose F major, okay? F major is where our notes are. Whoops. Melody bud. Whoops. Whoops, 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 whoops. Okay, come back in here and we'll go F major. F major. And then we'll see how that sounds. Let's try and slow this way down. Let's slow it down to like 78. Whoops. Because we got to get that scalar to stop doing what it's doing. See? That doesn't even sound right. What are we doing? Oh, right. F minor. Ha, what a dipstick. F major. No wonder it sounds so off. Ha! You can be such a dipstick sometimes, woman. Just listen to the, see how awful it is though? F major. I'm gonna slow this down. It's probably right. All right, now we'll find something in here. We're gonna find something at around in the 70s. Here, pop trap. Why not? So F, we're gonna go F, G is 2, A is 3, B is 4, C is 5, D is 6. So it's D minor. Now we're going to find a D minor. We're going to just throw in you can hear that. See? All the notes are not bad. They're not unfitting. That way you can just add a nice simple. Okay, we'll put a stop to that. F, G minor, A minor, B flat, C, D minor, E diminished F. Yep, exactly, Tremor Bear. All right, let's keep moving along. That was quite fun, right? So back to the chef thing. How I said that the scale isn't the melody. The scale is the ingredients. Melody is the order that you put the ingredients into. So if you jump from the first to the fifth, that's heroic. So let's play around with that now. We're going to go back to C, and we're just going to take away this connection, and we're just going to put the keyboard in. So there's your 1 4 1 5. So you notice that, see how that tastes? So if you go from like the third to the fourth, whoops. Here. See, that sounded kind of, it's just a little bit of suspense. But if you land on the seventh before the tonic at the end of a phrase, you half step tug. So now I'm just going to play. So there's there's that every ear hears that little half step tug. Here we go. Jump from the first to the fifth, singing the songs of myth. Right. So your melodic contour, it's like, is whether you have big leaps. Like here's your contour. Or there you go. Right? Hey Costa, what's up? A little like Joy to the World, see? So sometimes it steps, like it leaps, like somewhere over the rainbow, right? Or it steps down gently like a lullaby. lullaby and good night. So it shapes your emotion. That's what, so it's actually, it's not always just even the scale that you're playing in. It can absolutely be the moves that you're making within that scale, right? Leaps excite, steps calm. Stack them together and you get hope with safety. Yes, the ladder, I do really, really love that kind of ladder imagery. There's our ladder, right? So basically, triads are every other rung, okay? So here's your triad. That's your chord. Right? Then, so there's that diminished. So you see how that resolve, boom, right? So as we discussed last week, your chains of chords, that's your progression. This is your emotional journey. So you've got your journey happening. So it's like the chord progression is like, I'm going to go on a road trip and I'm going to go to Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, the Tri-Cities in southern Washington, and then back to Seattle or whatever. So that's like but the melody is like the roads I take and the places I stop. So it's just like you, if you're like here we. Right. And everyone knows, like we already talked about 1, 4, or 2, 4, 1, 5. It's your pop sadness merry-go-round. Let's do it. Dun, 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 dun. That basically, it never resolves. So you can sometimes make something resolve by like using one of those. Maybe we'll do it in here. We'll go, where is it? 2 or 6? 6, 4, 1, 5. Now we could go into a, let's make this one here on the scala. Right? See, that there's a little resolve there. Five, C. Whoops. There you go. That I like threw that the brute. And we'll do an F here. Doesn't sound right, see? Put a stop to that. So if the 4 ends, it's called your stadium lift. So often you can slip in your borrowed chord. When you're slipping in borrowed chords, you got to make sure that you're leaving those Let's see. Yeah, dissonance. You'll have a dissonance. Throwing in your like taking in a third, like a down. If you're going, so that's the fifth. Now, if you could take and you can actually one. So instead of F major, so you could hear that it kind of adds a little saddy sad. So when you're gonna have to think about those notes. If you're modulating out, you're gonna want your melody to not have gross notes in it, right? Sort of a super tramp tone. Yeah, you can do that with say if you're in, like did we have F major in here? So we'll add that, we'll put this back in here. We'll mess around with our melodies. Yes, if you borrow a chord, make sure to give it back when you're done. Put that up. So you even have these. Here's your, I'm going to use this. Here's your 1, here's your 2, here's your 3, here's your 4, here's your 5, here's your 6, here's your 7. So you can actually change your melody. So if you have like a 1, 3, or there's your 4, there's your 5, get your 7 there. Now we're going to move that last bit up to this. Now we'll move it up to the 7th. We're off, it's kind of crooked there. Now, see here that well, after you got the 7th in there, it really does stuff. Okay. These are, yeah, seconds apparently are good for horror music. The whole thing is just very much like I said, it's like a chef playing with their ingredients. You've got your ingredients and you don't want to add too much sugar to your savory dish, or too much savory to your sugar dish. Yeah, we're gonna miss Mr. Davies, indeed, Rick Davies from Supertramp. That is a big loss. We've lost a lot of really, really important people this year. All right, so pivoting, modulation. So we talked about modulation a little bit already, but if you take your whole staircase up a whole step and the listener feels a lift without knowing why. So Whitney Houston shifts up in I Will Always Love You. Suddenly, tissues everywhere. You just spelled the same scale family in a sunnier neighborhood. No new material, just a balcony with a better view. Same thing, you can do the same thing with tempo. At 120 beats per minute, your body will hear like a light jog. At 140, it's sprint mode. Drop to 60 or 70, and suddenly you're scanning the shadows. Speeding up, slowing down, that's emotional modulation, and you don't even need necessarily the actual notes to change. You could just add Vegeta. I use Vegeta a lot, actually. It's delicious. Thanks to Cold Acre. Now, we're going to get into tricks because we've already covered all the main stuff, and you could see how the melodies work and what they do. But if you're really looking for some extra sauce, we'll finish up talking about borrowing and breaking. So, for example, film composers, they love to sneak in the parallel minor. You're grooving out in C major. Suddenly, you drop in a D flat, and the audience smells trouble before the villain shows. So you're grooving along in C major. Whoa. Oh, huh. Yeah, hear that? Here we go. See, when you hit that is a serious little pop, and it doesn't sound out of place. It sounds amazing. So, like, then there's things like if you add like a sus4 chord or something before your tonic, and the brain leans in waiting for release. If you hold it too long, the tension will flip to irritation. Release it just right, and the candy hits harder. Even a single added ninth can make the hair on your neck stand up. So where's the ninth? So this is front, third, fifth, seventh, ninth. So here we go, ninth. Whoops. Here's the C major. And here's the C major with the ninth. Whoops. See that? It does. It really adds. So you could add that note in. So you're just like working. See? That ninth in there, boom. It's like, it says, hey, here we go. And I love the metaphor they gave me. Get to know your ladder, then you yank one rung so the listener trips exactly where you want. I love that. All right, we've only got 7 minutes till Jade. Texture and interest, indeed. So, if you can try this yourself by opening up a keyboard app, setting it to C major, play C, G, D, F, E, right? That's your pentatonic hook. Sweet. You can use a pentatonic, so you could just write your first hook, right? So this is my last my last serious piece of advice is, if you want to make something new, limit yourself. Make a smaller, start with a smaller palette. Don't go crazy because you might go nuts. You just start small and you can mess around and use some limits to find yourself a way, right? Cool. Not much else, really. Basically, like other cultures hear scales different because they have more notes. And so they'll have different stuff. But honestly, everyone, the same 7 notes are still making music to this very day. You start with your major staircase, you flirt with your pentatonic cheat code, you twist into modes, you stack your chords, you modulate, you borrow, you break. 7 notes, endless stories. Now it's your turn. Share your favorite scale or melody in the comments. And of course, subscribe for more. Yay! All right, I'm going to say goodbye to you with my face. We're going to tell you what's up. Next up is Jade Star. Hopefully I don't think I did set my dump, or did I? God, do I always do this? Drives me nuts. We have Jade. I didn't even show you my face. Here, my face. Tomorrow I've got Fur and Frets, just like always. Friday I've got Midnight Chill, just like always. And we are going to head right in to Jade Aethervox for Sonora Cinematic. Oh, I know why I don't have a dump set, because she was under an NDA and it was stuck there until. So make sure you have that. And I will see you over at Jade's, and then I'll see you again tomorrow for Fur and Frets. We're going to play some music. Play, enjoy, tell me what you're up to in the comments. All of the things. Indeed. Right, guys? Big love. All the peace you can carry. That's me, Leelaversity, out.